Okay. Looks like we're streaming on Twitch. Let me see if I can get this out and get it shared so the masses can follow along. We do that. Go. While we listen to the fire engines go by. All right. There we are. Picks from Joe's is out there. Yo, yo, yo. Picks from Joe's. How about that? Okay, gang? How about that? Um, we wandered in the darkness for how long? Wandered in the darkness for what felt like forever, that great abyss between the last bowl game and really, for the folks that follow pro football real closely, it's really the Super Bowl. And then you have spring ball with college. And then you have nothing. Not nothing. There's some schools, the spring sports at OSU are entertaining. But then we go through that great abyss of no football, jonesing for Big 12 Media Days, and then fall camp. And it's finally here, and you blink your eyes, and it's week 3 already. Last non conference games for folks in the Big 12. I think, with the exception of Baylor, I think Baylor's not Baylor out this week. Baylor's out this week, which is fine. I don't have to talk about them. That's great. Baylor's out this week, so they'll have another non-conference game. I think next week maybe. We'll take a peek. But well, whatever. It doesn't matter. 9 out of the 10 teams are in action, and then we're beginning conference play. I mean, that's just crazy how you wait all that time. It seems like it's never going to end. And then, like that, it's week 3 of the season, right? We're already, think of it, you're already a quarter of a way done with the regular season. How about that? Man, it goes fast. Anyway, quick comments about Oklahoma State last week. What do you do with that game? I mean, when tape doesn't lie, is turning themselves into pretzels. They're turning themselves into pretzels, trying to come up with things to talk about for that game. I'll say this: I thought Gundy's comment about Chuba Hubbard, Chuba didn't play a lot, and Gundy went right to he put the ball on the ground. Okay, interesting. I mean, you know how Gundy is, man. He has no patience for running backs that don't protect the football at a zero. So I think that'll be really important to watch with Hubbard as the season progresses. Because it was a little bit of it was kind of a freak deal where he kind of ran into the back of the offensive lineman, then the defender came in and put his hat right on the helmet, or his hat right on the ball, helmet right on the ball. So, uh, I read nothing into the QB play, into the defense, anything. The one thing I will say is, yes, McNeese State was just jamming the line. They were rolling extra safety up. They were jamming the line to stop the run. I thought it was fascinating that even in a preseason game, in a non-conference game against, an FCS team, how quickly Gleason adjusted what they were doing. Okay. Now, granted, I think the guys came out a little flat to start the game, but they adjusted their stuff pretty quick. I agree with a lot of folks. I don't necessarily need to see Spencer Sanders, running as much if he's going to take licks like that. If the kid's not going to get down, then I hate the idea of called runs, at least anyway. Maybe you pull it on a zone read when it's obvious. You scramble. I mean, that guy, thank heavens you have Drew Brown, right? Thank heavens Gundy didn't burn Drew Brown's eligibility last year. Think about that. So really, nothing much to take from that game. I think this week's slate of games provides. It really provide. I think there's some fascinating football. So last week we had Texas LSU. Um, let's see kind of where we stack up against some other conferences. Um, Pretty entertaining game. Neither team looked like they had fantastic defense going on. Again, hard to tell this time of year. Some more entertaining stuff this week. Tonight, blah, blah. Kansas at Boston College. There's nothing entertaining about that. I think the only thing to watch there is how bad is Boston College going to blow them out? Can Kansas even make it a competitive game? The BC is favored by 20.5. Probably not enough. Over unders 51, which feels a little low. BC might score that. They could score that on their own. Now, just keep in mind, about every recommendation I made last week went out the window. OU and OSU both covered the spread, but almost everything else I was woefully off on. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt, or completely disregard. Kansas? Come on, that was awful last week. So there they go. They're at BC again. I'm my amateur, betting mind says 20.5. Not nearly enough points. BC's gonna, BC will beat them by more than that. Oh, excuse me. And over under 51, BC might score that on their own. Yeah, I know you might be disappointed. Bottle of water. Look, it's work day, so I have to keep some. I do have to maintain some proper behavior. And never mind, I'll be playing cornhole with my OSU cornhole set a little bit later. So we'll have a couple of cocktails for Orange Friday. So that game, Kansas at BC, 7:30 on the ACC network. If you get it, we actually get it here. We get the SEC network and we get the ACC network. Of all times, it's too bad I don't get the Longhorn network. Okay. Saturday. So tomorrow, let's get into the action. Noon, right out of the gate. I think you've got two pretty intriguing games. All right. So is Kansas State any good? We should find out. Not that Mississippi State is fantastic, but it's an SEC team. They got big kids. Let's see what Kansas State does. They're definitely not the Kansas State offense of old. So we'll see. We'll see what Chris Kleiman's got. It's at Mississippi State. It's a noon game, noon Eastern on ESPN. Mississippi State's favored by 7. Thinking I might like Kansas State with that. Over unders 52 sounds about right. I think this will be more of a defensive battle. So I think great game to watch there. I think very intriguing to see what Kansas State's may have. Kansas goes down there and takes care of business. Woo! That makes that trip to Stillwater at the end of September really fascinating. Other 12 o'clock game, you got North Carolina State at West Virginia. West Virginia looked absolutely atrocious. I mean, they looked Kansas bad. At Missouri last week, and Missouri is not fantastic. So NC State's coming in 2-0. NC State's favored by 7. I would be all over that, and the over/under's at 45.5. Because I don't know if West Virginia's going to score. So you'd expect NC State to have to get most of that. I don't know about that over/under. Over/under feels a little odd to me, but I would be taking NC State and laying those points. Unless West Virginia finds something, because they looked just awful last week. Awful. Noon game, that's on FS1. So both easily viewable games. It looks like pretty much everything. We also have the Big Ten network up here, too. Everything else is pretty viewable. Depending on what you get, everything else is pretty viewable. So then we get into the afternoon games. You've only got two kind of afternoon games. You got Oklahoma State, which we'll talk about later, at Tulsa. That's the 3:30 game on ESPN2. Watch for some regional stuff there. Might get ABC, might get ESPN2. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work. And then there's a 4 o'clock game. Great game, Iowa at Iowa State. A lot of trash talking on Twitter, as always. So that game's on FS1. Again, that's at 4 o'clock Eastern. Iowa's favored by 2. So that's taking a point away. You say they usually offer 3 points for the home field advantage. So pretty much a toss-up, right? Field goal or better wins the game. Probably it could be a 1-point game, maybe. Over/under's 42. Again, feels a little low. Even in a defensive battle nowadays in college football, 42 points total. I mean, that could be two pretty bad. I would definitely want to go with the over there. I mean, could you see it being like a 28-14? 28-14 type of game? That'd be 42 points. Do you see that? Is that possible? I don't know. I feel like both teams will maybe score a little bit. I don't know. Over-unders can get weird, especially as the season goes on. They start, finding the lines. Over-unders get tougher and tougher, but I would be inclined for the over on that. And that's toss up. I don't know. Every time I think Iowa State's got a shot at beating Iowa, they lay an absolute egg. Iowa State laid an absolute horrid egg last week. Looked not good. So I think this has got to be, they need to make a little bit of a statement, or need to, show something this week. But that's it. You got 2 afternoons, kind of a nice slate. 2 noon games, 2 afternoon games, and then several evening games. So at the evening, TCU at Purdue. Okay, so TCU won. They won their opener against nobody state. Then they had an off week. Purdue went 1-1. TCU favored by 2.5. That's a fascinating line. I'm leaning towards Purdue on this. Over under. Maybe you go the under. Might go the under. TCU got to have a decent defense, and I don't know that their offense is going to be too dynamic. So the 52.5 is the over/under. That could be a little high. I don't know. But TCU laying 2.5 on the road. Well, I think I might lean on Purdue a little bit there. TCU needs to show me they've got offense. Unless Purdue lays an OSU egg like the Cowboys did last year when they went down there, and clearly with a better team and just putrid football. But that, Big 10, Big 12 matchup there, 2 of them. I think, good opportunities for the Big 12 to at least do something, protect the turf a little bit. The dud of a game at night. So you got 4 night games. So that's 7:30 p.m. That's on the Big 10 network, which we get here. So I can tune in and catch some of that game, 7:30 Eastern. 8 o'clock Eastern on Fox. Oklahoma at UCLA. That should be an absolute whitewash. Oklahoma by 23.5. Take OU. Lay the points all day long. Over/under 72. I mean, I think OU scores at least 50 in this game. Does UCLA score some? I mean, they were awful last week. Might, maybe take the under there, but I would definitely take OU and lay those points. I think 23.5 is not even close. I'm not sure what the folks are smoking there. I think Lincoln Riley gives UCLA a bath with no water and sandpaper, man. Woo. I think they'll lather up UCLA. You got 8 o'clock Eastern time on the CBS Sports Network, which I don't know if we get here, but I can definitely bring it up on my, on a device, tablet, or iPad or something. So I'll be watching that. Texas at Rice. Texas coming off a tough loss, although they looked pretty good. Other than defense didn't look great, but offense looked good. 1-1. Rice is 0-2. Texas laying 32.5. I mean, unless they come out flat, unless Texas comes out flat, uh, 32.5's heavy. Over under 56. I think that's low. I'd be kind of go jump on that. I'd go over on that if it's 56. But Texas laying 32.5. I mean, it's just all a matter of what their defense does. But I think I'd take Texas to lay the points. And here I am talking about the games with my face all over this. So here we are here. So Texas laying the points. Let's see. There's Flo. Hi, Flo. Texas laying the points. Yeah, I think I'd do that. The only thing, if they come out a little flatter, would they overlook Rice for Oklahoma State? I doubt it. If it was OU next week, maybe. And then you've got the Pac-12 after dark. Oh, who's staying up to watch Texas Tech at Arizona? Another kind of a toss-up game, 10:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Tech favored by 2.5, over under 77.5. That's pretty high over under. I might go under with that. But Tech laying 2.5 on the road. Arizona didn't look fantastic in a opening season loss at Hawaii, but that can be a funky trip out there. Who knows? That's a hard one. That's kind of a toss-up game for me. That's a toss-up game. But again, Texas Tech could make a statement. They could go out there and lay the wood to Arizona. And now they are, because right now you're going to have this battle. Iowa State hasn't looked as good as people thought they were going to be, and they were picked third in the conference. So now you've got Oklahoma State, K-State. You have Texas Tech that are, their teams looking. I mean, TCU, maybe. But I think Texas Tech, K-State, and Oklahoma State definitely teams looking to say, hey, we're in that group right under OU. I would say there's OU. Then you've got Texas. Then you have stuff going on. So I think Texas is not equal to OU, but they're also better than the rest, at least at this stage. So, definitely a chance this weekend for some teams to make some statements and, either right the ship or continue what feels like a pretty good, run so far. So finally, last but not least, it's the afternoon game on ESPN2, and again, could be ABC, could be any of the ESPN networks, depending on where you are. But 3:30 Eastern time, Oklahoma State at Tulsa. Last time they played at Tulsa, 2011, that crazy ass game that went deep into the night. That was ridiculous. Oklahoma State won easily, but just all the stories and the the unfortunate Glenn Spencer's wife passed, who had been ill. So what's happening with this? Tulsa's got a decent defense. Okay, so Oregon State's defense horrible. McNeese State FCS. Tulsa, we saw in their opener against Michigan State. They're capable of standing up. They're not going to get run over, I don't think. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this game. Offensively, they like to run the ball. I have much greater faith in our defense's ability to defend the run than I do with them to defend the pass. Um, hopefully we've made some adjustments defensively. Working through that McNeese State game. But I would expect this. This is Oklahoma State's laying 14, over under 64. Wow. I hate both of those numbers. I don't see Oklahoma State running off with this game. I think this is going to be a. I think this is going to be a. I wouldn't even. It may be sneaky tough. Some of you might want to say sneaky tough. I wouldn't say it's even sneaky, based on what I saw Tulsa do against Michigan State. Who did they? Tulsa. What was their week? Oh, San Jose State, 34-16. Okay. What's San Jose State doing? Well, I wanted San Jose State. I didn't want the game recap. Stupid thing. That's what it's going to do. Let's see what San Jose State did here. Come on. Spartans. There you go. So Tulsa's played the Spartans twice. UNCO, they beat there. All right, so who knows what San Jose State is? What did Tulsa's defense do in this game? Let's where's our box score? So San Jose State, 233 passing yards, 115 rushing yards. Tulsa, fairly balanced, pretty balanced right there. Yeah, I think this is. I tell you what, I'm not liking this. How this is setting up. It's just not that I necessarily go, oh my God, Oklahoma State's going to lose the game. I just think this is going to be a way sneakier game. Way sneakier game from an Oklahoma State perspective. OSU laying 14, and that over under. I think both are. I hate those numbers. Don't like the numbers. I will be looking. I absolutely will be watching for Oklahoma State. Don't give me that generic. If they come out and insist on being that vanilla, then you need to open up other pages of the playbook with vanilla on it. Okay, you're gonna have to do some things that you haven't done up to this point. They may be the vanilla versions of them, but you better do it. So does anybody out there? Does anybody know what the deal with? With the guy Israel Antwine. What's going on with him? There was some, not legal thing. I don't think it was, but some administrative thing going on with him. Why he's not playing? Bundage. Be interesting to see whether or not he plays. Who knows? But I just think this is a sneaky game for OSU. Would love to see him get in there and get after Tulsa. I'd feel a lot better about going down to Austin, but really, this game I've got my radar up about. We could be looking forward to Texas a little bit next week, so it'll be very interesting to see. Would love to come out and see him get a quick start, right? Not fall behind early, that type of thing. Just no need to put that kind of pressure on a young QB to force a play or something, because Tulsa's defense is good enough to do something about it. So that's it. We'll leave it there. Hopefully we'll have time for an actual recap of the game on Sunday. So I hope everybody enjoys the weekend. Be safe. Again, looking forward to being there in a couple of weeks. for the Kansas State game. Coming in, I'm flying into Dallas Friday, driving up Friday night, and let's see, they haven't posted. We won't know that game time until we won't know that game time till probably this week. Yeah, to be determined. Yeah. How about T Boone? Man, almost didn't mention him in this. That's a passing that I was explaining to somebody on one of my work colleagues that dude was almost like a grandfather to a lot of people. And you can say hi. There's the infamous Josh Wetzel, who's just home from school. How's it going? Are you in there? Can they see you? There you are. He just got home from school. It's Friday. What day is it, dude? Friday. Stop. Embarrassing dad. Don't be photobombing me either back there. Don't start with me. So game time to be determined. T. Boone Pickens, like I said, he was. I think a lot of people kind of felt like he was the grandfather, the OSU, your Oklahoma State grandfather. Had that feeling a little bit, and when you're donating upwards of $700 million. I mean, if you can't see the lasting impact that's had on Oklahoma State, just the athletic culture as a whole, then you're not paying attention. So not shocking. His health had been on kind of a sharp decline over the last year or two, but sad day. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of like memorial stuff. OSU, wearing helmet stickers. There's going to be a memorial service at Stillwater. I haven't seen anything. I haven't been on Twitter much today because of work. So it'll be very interesting to see how OSU rolls stuff out. I'm eager to see the helmet stickers. I doubt it's anything too fancy. Just maybe it has TBP on them. But yeah, I mean, big event and sad event. But what an impact the guy had on the school. So looking forward to finding out when the K-State game time is. Texas an evening game. I don't know if OSU will be on 2 straight Saturday evenings. So they might put them in the afternoon, or it could be a noon game. But we'll see. I think probably depends a little bit on how both Oklahoma State and K-State do this weekend, obviously. But I'd love an afternoon game. Love a 3:30 game. So we're going to drive up. Myself and my work colleague Dalton, at a total second. So he's on Twitter, or if you're looking up and say at Geronimo Coates, you'll find him. Dalton and I'll be driving up that Friday night and hitting the game festivities and attending the game on Saturday Saturday at whatever time. So. Really looking forward to that. Work has intervened. I'm not going to be able to come again later in the year. I was thinking I was going to be able to kind of do the same thing for a work trip and come to the KU game, but things changed a little bit, and now I'm not going to be able to do that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the K-State game. Last time I was at a game was K-State, I think in 2015, maybe. When did we lose? We lost to them. We lost to them in Manhattan last year. We lost to them. Yeah, we lost to them in Stillwater in Mason Rudolph's last year was 17. So yeah, 15. 2015, OSU kicked the field goal to win the game. Kicked it right at us. I was setting. They kicked it right at my brother and I. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to finding out the game time. So anyway, I think this is a good test. Good test for Oklahoma State. If they really want to compete in the upper half of the league, then I think you take care of Tulsa by at least 2 touchdowns. All right, 2 to 3 touchdowns. You're taking care of business, and it shouldn't feel like it's that close, right? But if we get into a dogfight where we have to pull something out, at the end, squeak something out, then it's middle of the road type stuff. Fighting it out in the middle of the bottom of the conference this year. And I think a large part of it's going to be the defense. I think that's the part that's going to make all the difference. So anyway, everybody enjoy. I'm sure a bunch of you are traveling to the game. So travel safe, and we'll talk to everybody afterwards. Go Pokes.